havale edilemeyeceğini, sorunun tüm yönleri ve uluslararası yükümlülüklerini gören kapsamlı bir örgütlenme ile ülkemizde de bir göç bakanlığı kurulması gerektiğini ifade etmek istiyoruz. Yoksullarla değil, yoksullukla mücadele etmek için göçmen ve mültecilerle dayanışalım. Mülteciler için güvenli ve onurlu bir yaşamı hep birlikte savunalım. Bu noktada mücadelemizi birlikte yükseltelim diyorum. Yeniden hepinizi katılımınızdan dolayı saygıyla, sevgiyle selamlıyorum. Hoş geldiniz diyorum.
Tabii heyecandan ben kendimi tanıtmadan konuşmaya başladım. KESK Eğitim Örgütlenme Basın Yayın Sekreteri Varlı Öztorun. Şimdi arkadaşlar kısa bir videomuz var. İTÜK Genel Sekreteri Sharon Baron'un kısa bir videosu. Aramızda olmayı çok istedi ama genel kurul süreçleri olduğu için maalesef katılamadı. O videodan sonra devam edeceğiz.
Leaders, delegates, I very much regret not being able to be part of this discussion with you. I think the question of inclusion, equal treatment, this is at the heart of building a peaceful, a democratic, a free and optimistic society. When people are excluded, then we are sowing the seeds of discontent. And that discontent becomes despair, it becomes anger, it in fact drives mistrust in democracies, in institutions. When people feel excluded, they fight back. We know that migrant workers, refugees, all internally displaced people, they actually are on the move because of economic desperation, of conflict, or of oppression. Any one of these circumstances mean that just to survive, just for their families to have a future, those working people will move. They'll move to other countries. Turkey's always had a very special approach to migrant workers. I know that I spent a year during the year of the G20 using the opportunity to visit the unions and indeed communities where refugees were welcome. When your people talk about refugees and migrants as their guests, then it says something very different to the concept of nations where people are just rejected, where they are forced back across the border, or they are treated as somewhat less than human and not deserving of equal treatment, of rights, of decent work, of social protection. So Turkey has a proud history of humanity, but I know your commitment to these issues is fundamental. People, working people everywhere, they are our brothers and sisters. We need to understand that first of all, they require safe haven, and then of course that when they integrate into our workforce, in our communities, they build our economic base, which in turn creates more jobs. So when I hear people talk about excluding migrants, excluding refugees, it makes us all feel that we are in fact excluding others from the world of work we want to build, and that's not our value set, our ambition. I really look forward to the outcomes of your deliberation. But there is indeed only one set of demands we should be making, and that's that the social contract covers migrant workers, refugees, all the people who are marginalised from decent work. The 2019 Centenary Declaration of the ILO, we negotiated that workers everywhere should have a set of fundamental conditions, no matter what their employment, formal, informal, internet mediated, all workers should be entitled to fundamental rights. Indeed, to occupational health and safety, now a fundamental right. Thanks to the union's campaign, it was achieved this year. We also know that we can fight for the minimum living wages, which are part of that package of demands, wages evidence-based on which people can live with dignity, and some control over working hours. We also know that when married with universal social protection, that's the elements of a life that people can depend on for security. Jobs, climate-friendly jobs with just transition, wages, just wages, minimum living wages, but also strengthened collective bargaining, universal social protection, equality, not just of income, but equality of gender and race, and of course, inclusion. Everybody has a right to a working life that is indeed based on the dignity of work, the fundamental principle established by those at the ILO many, many years ago at its inception. We know that the dignity of decent work is everything, that requires equal treatment, but we also as a trade union movement have a very simple message to our brothers and sisters who are indeed from some other country, migrants, refugees, people desperate indeed to find work. Migrant workers, refugees are welcome in our countries. Thank you very much for your humanity, your commitment to a value set we all share, and I wish you well in these deliberations. Solidarity. Brother Osman, leaders, delegates, I very
Şimdi İLO Türkiye Ofisi Direktörü Numan Özcan'ı konuşması yapmak üzere kürsüye davet ediyorum.
Değerli KESK eş genel başkanları, değerli misafirler, hepinize günaydın. Uluslararası Çalışma Örgütü İLO adına hepinizi saygıyla, sevgiyle